black one. Say this. Say this is your can. To be clear, you're no longer allowed to use any other can. Recycling and
Sorry.
you're going to have to take it to the curb regularly. We do not want trash sitting in the yard for long. And bring it back. Don't leave it out on the curb once the trash be emptied.
Hello. Can you hear me, Brendan?
Yeah, you're good. You're good, man.
Sorry. Yeah, sounds good. We're just having
Say hi to
some.
Shaquille for me.
Oh, Brendan says hi.
Hey.
So every interview that Shaquilla had when she was working were always remote, and she always had my guitar in the background of those interviews. And it's so funny because now I have your degrees, so none of these are mine. These are Shaquilla's. Mine are over there.
Oh, there we go. That's actually really funny.
So it's so funny that they just happen to be back here.
I was going to say,
Brendan?
University of Florida. That's definitely Shaquille.
Yeah, there's her. She has her CFA up there. That's the big one.
Nice.
That thing is massive.
Gotta have that one on the back.
Huge.
It's a tough exam. I heard a lot of people studying for that one over the years.
Oh, it's crazy. It's 3 separate exams that she has to take for it. And each
It passed. It's done.
Yeah, you passed. Well, your degree's right there. It's in the. So there were 3 exams she had to take, and
8 hours long each.
Each of them were 8 hours long, and she took them like every year. So it took her 3 years to do it with all the exams.
Like you have to take it like that.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah,
it's a lot, and it's not like dental school. We had our board exams, and we learned a lot of that material when we were in school. This was entirely self-study. She had to look everything up. She had guides, she had things she had to study from, but it wasn't coursework. It wasn't something that she studied in school. So a lot of work.
Gotcha. Yeah, lots and lots of work. How are you doing though?
I'm good. Just at home hanging out.
Yeah, and I won't keep you too long. I know it's late at night, and I really appreciate you coming on. So, hey, by the way, while I got you here, I got you up. I got your website, so I did a little Google search. It's always fun to see, like, when we search our names, what comes up. But here's your group right here. Wait, here's the.
Oh yeah, yep, that's us.
So that's great. So your group, where you work, comes up as first, on Google. That's actually like a really important thing for SEO. And this is you guys. This is Dr. Manolis right here.
Mm-hmm.
And there you are, Long Island native.
That's me.
You got a good photo. Is this photo from the clinic you're in now, or is this this is dental school, right? Yeah.
No, that was just totally unprompted. Just one day they were like, we need to put a picture of you up on the website. So I was just sitting in one of the operatories and they came and took a picture.
I like it. We got the bicep veins out. We got to have those.
Those are gone. Oh, that picture was from like a year ago, I think.
They're gone? What do you mean they're gone?
They're gone. Well, between, we had our wedding and we had so many other things that have just taken over our lives. Finally starting to get back into taking care of myself a little bit, but
good. Yeah. Have you gotten a gym membership again, or what are you doing now?
I kept the same gym membership, still going to the same place, been there for 9 years now, I think is where it was. Whenever we started dental school was when I signed up there.
That's right.
So it's still the LA Fitness. It was 4 years of dental school, and then maybe it's not that long. How long have we been out of school now? 4 years? So 8 years. 8 years I've been there.
8 years. That's a good run. And the LA Fitness you're talking about, is that the Port Jeff one, or is that the Smithtown, like near the Lake Grove one?
The Lake Grove one, yeah.
That was a big one. I liked it.
They redid it like 5 years ago, and it's been very nice ever since. They have a turf there. They have a pool, which I've actually started making use of. I've been swimming, getting back into that kind of exercise, which is really nice.
I like that.
Yeah,
and how
good
far
to mix it up.
Because we used to live in Stony Brook. It was just down the road, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Is it further from you now? Yeah, right?
It's like 15 minutes now. I'm actually very close to the Port Jeff Station one, the one by the Uncle Giuseppe's, because I'm living in Port Jeff Station right now. But it's still worth, taking the extra 5 minutes to get out to that gym. I just think it's a better gym. They have a lot more there. The pool has, I think, 2 extra lanes, so it's much easier to get a lane when I go swim there.
Oh, the one in Port Jeff, that one doesn't have a pool, does it? No.
It does. It's only got 3 lanes. It's a small pool, but it does have one.
That's tight. There's a small LA Fitness here in Smithtown, like in the main area of Smithtown, and it's a small pool too. Yeah.
Were they closing that one? I know they were talking about closing one over in that area.
That's what someone had told me. I joined a month. It was like September, and then I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? It's just they have like one rack of weights, which was great. It was fine. It was a very nice
That's all
gym,
you,
I thought.
yeah.
But the like the aerobics class or Zumba, whatever it was, they all the women would come out and take all the weights up to like 12 pounds, and then I'm like, wait a
So
minute,
you just have to be very strong to go to that gym. You've got to be able to
yeah,
start at like
you got to be starting at 50s or something.
50-pound, lateral raises.
Yeah, and those classes go until like 8 o'clock. It's like 5:30 to 8. So for a couple hours, there's no way. I was like, you would not have liked that either.
No, no.
But so hey, let's get into because we just chatted last week about this. But I want because this
Yes.
is going to go up to Long Island Dentist podcast. We're bringing together
Hmm.
the Long Island dentists and the community here. So what you're in Port Jeff Station. I just brought up the
Hmm.
your website there and location and the map as well. So yeah, like I know Dr. Ryan Davis from dental school here at Stony Brook and nearby, just down the road. I'm in Smithtown. He's in Port Jeff now. And we're both Long Islanders, actually native, which
Hmm.
is always nice. I love when we find a dentist who's like actually from Long Island because a lot of people are just all over the place now.
Oh
But
yeah, a lot of people from school where we went have moved out. People are in Pennsylvania now. I don't even know where everyone is, but not a lot of people are still on Long Island. Most people have moved out of here at this point.
it's shocking. I mean, it's like I kind of understand it because the taxes and cost of living here is very
Hmm.
high, but it's also kind of
Hmm.
sad. We had a lot of friends in our class.
Hmm. I try my best to keep in touch with a couple people from the class. I still talk to Yeet. Yeet's still out on Long Island. He's at a bunch of different offices. He jumps between them. And David, I still talk to, but David now, I know he was living in Pennsylvania. I think he's living in the city now, but I believe he's going to Connecticut or somewhere else. A
Oh,
lot of people just moving around.
yeah, a lot of people. Nicole Andriano, she's upstate now, like Syracuse-ish.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
Nicole
think
Francisco's not there.
Alex Nicole Francisco's still around. I think she's in Stony Brook area. She's got a house out there.
Hmm.
And I think Alex moved upstate. Alex and Dana are still upstate. They went
Did
to Utica for residency. I think they stayed around that area.
Hmm. I've heard the dentistry is pretty good up there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's rumors, though. I don't know if it's true or whatnot.
I like Long Island though. Like you said, native to Long Island, grew up here. It's a very nice area. You really have access to everything that you could need. I used to live closer to the city and I've since moved out further away from the city. I'm not a big city person myself, just never have been. But it's nice to still have access to it. And Long Island's just a nice place to be. I love the seasons that we get here.
Oh, that's such a great point. Someone was telling me about like a lot of people moving to Florida. Like Heather moved to Florida,
Did
and
she really? Oh, I didn't know that.
she's doing ortho down in Florida now. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people moving away, and it sounds like dentistry is good. Maybe starting to get saturated in Florida, but no seasons in Florida.
No, nope. Nope. Shaquila, my wife, has said so many times, and I think it's the funniest thing because she lived in Florida and she moved to Stony Brook for school, and that's where the two of us met. But just like a common saying that we have, April showers bring May flowers. Every springtime, that's like the thing you learn. She had never heard that before because it's just always summer there. They get 2 weeks of winter and then it's summer for the rest of the year.
That's such a good point. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So in Florida, they don't know the whole April shower. Plus, they have those showers that go all summer long.
Yeah, it's just always raining there.
Which is I never asked you this. Since you like the seasons too, because I really love the seasons. Which is your favorite season?
I'm a winter person, so I always love going snowboarding. That's been my favorite thing since I was probably 14, 15. I would go. So I like the snow. I have plenty of gear for it. When I was in Boy Scouts, I used to go camping out in the mountains in February. We would hike out into the mountain. We would flatten down a little bit of the snow that was there and put a tent up, and we would actually stay in that tent for a long weekend. Very fun, very unique experience. Not something I've gotten to do in a long time, but I definitely like the winter out of all the seasons. But if I had to pick a second favorite season, I'd probably go with spring. It's just nice seeing everything come back to life, which you
Yeah.
don't get in other places.
You don't. Yeah, in Florida, it kind of just stays alive, right? You said 2 weeks, so it's like a 2 week, and it's funny because if you, I mean, we both know Florida, they all come out with these winter coats, and it's like it's 50 degrees out. What?
Well, to be fair, there are parts of Florida that do get pretty cold, but I think it's more of a joke that it's just cold for a couple weeks. And their cold is not like the cold up here, especially if you go further up north, it gets very cold. How cold would you say it gets, Shaquille? Like 60 degrees in Florida? Yeah, that's their cold day.
Oh, it's funny. It's really funny because it stays in that little sweet zone, but it's nice to get a little cold once in a while. That's so now that's two things because we were talking about it last week. We got to go to the brewery together, Port Jet Brew,
Yes.
and then also it's like Oyster
Yes.
Bay or something. But we have to go
Oceanside.
Oceanside
Barrier. We got to go to
Barrier.
Barrier.
We got to go there, and then you also mentioned Sand City on the
Yes.
south.
In Lindenhurst. That's in,
In,
it's not too far from where I grew up, actually.
right in Wantagh, yeah, and
Hmm.
because Sand City also has the one in Northport we were talking about, but I haven't been to Lindenhurst, so I'm down to go there as well. And the other thing I was going to mention, we never got to go. You snowboard, I ski. We never got to go hit the slopes together.
No, and it's such a shame. Every year I ask you and we never get to go. Maybe this year. This year we'll plan a trip. We'll go up one weekend.
I would love that.
I
After my
sh-
boards in February, like after second week of February, if we could catch like later in the season, I'm in.
yeah, definitely. Let's
That
do
would
it.
be
Let's
great. We could
pick a
bring the
weekend.
girls up. We could go up and we could stay overnight, like a Saturday, Friday night, Saturday night, come back Sunday or something.
Does Elise ski? Does she ski or snowboard at all? Because
She's
Shaquila does not.
oh, so they could both.
So they could hang out together. They could go do something together. That
Yeah,
would be very nice. Because I always feel bad having Shaquila come up with me and she doesn't go up to the mountains.
right. Is she? How is
But
she
yeah,
with heights
definitely.
actually? Because like the lift, well, the lift. I mean, you wouldn't go up the lift and then come down the lift. So I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
She's not, she doesn't like heights. I think that's the biggest thing she's afraid of. It's the heights of it that she really, I don't think she'd get over that.
It happens. That happens. Yeah. So we gotta do that. We do have to plan that. So February, maybe even yeah. Let's we'll look at February, March. But so let's see. So we were talking about the days that you're in the office a little
Hmm.
while last week, and just so yeah, for listeners, viewers, if we go run through that one more time.
Oh, for like what days I'm working through at the office.
Yeah.
So I work Tuesday through Friday every week, and then it's every other Saturday. And occasionally I'll pick up, an extra Saturday here or there. My, Dr. Manolis, who I work with, we work very well together. So there are some days that she'll have to cover Saturday for me. There's some days that I'll have to cover Saturday for her. But we communicate back and forth to make sure that we're kind of in sync with it. But for the most part, it's really either 4 or 5 days a week that I'm working. And then I always get a Sunday, Monday at the very least off, which is a nice balance. It's still a lot. It's still fairly physically demanding, but I think it works out well, especially with where everything's timed. Some days, like Saturdays, are shorter days, and some days, like Thursdays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, are longer days. So it all balances out throughout it. But it's a good schedule that I have. It's a nice balance.
It is. And we were talking about this. If there was one day I would pick to have off, like between Monday and Friday, because on Monday and Friday, I would definitely pick Monday. So I really think you got the sweet spot there with the days of the week.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy with my schedule. It's nice to have that. And sometimes when you get that 3-day week, it's really nice.
Yeah. If you were to pick one day, would you pick Monday or Friday? Because I know we had talked about this and Shaquille's schedule, but what about excluding like Shaquille's schedule, your dream schedule? If you were working 4 days a week, would you pick the Monday off or the Friday off?
Probably the Monday off. I think it's nice to have that Monday off.
I'm
Yeah,
100% in alignment with that. Some people are like, "Oh yeah, having Friday offs are great," but like the Friday vibes are. I would rather
very
Friday.
different. It's very different. And it's easy if you have things you need to take care of during the day. Mondays are usually quieter days because not a lot of people are off on Mondays, but a lot of people go run chores on Fridays. People think I'll take off the Friday to take care of this and then have a long weekend afterwards. So I think the Monday's a nice balance. It's
Hundred
nice.
percent, 100%. That's a bullseye answer right there. I would totally pick the Mondays off too. And how do you like working Saturdays?
I don't mind it. Saturdays are probably one of the more interesting days. I expected it to be one of those days that we saw a lot more emergencies just because people are typically off on Saturdays. So those are the days they'll want to take care of things. It's actually the opposite from what I've seen. People who are really on top of their schedules and really keep up with routine dental work, usually we'll schedule out in advance for a Saturday. So our Saturdays are almost always booked, but they're easy, well scheduled days. It's not like we have anything crazy coming in those days. It's more during the week we see a lot of like emergencies when they come up. So I actually kind of like Saturdays. I think they're usually smooth days, just from a scheduling perspective.
Yeah. And you said 8 to 2?
8 to 2 on Saturdays.
That's not too bad. That's not too
No,
bad.
it's a quick day. 2 o'clock. Even now in the winter, it's still light out when we leave, which is nice.
That is nice, right? Because the rest of the week it's
The
pitch
rest
black.
of the week, yeah. Yep.
What are
Yep.
your hours the rest of the week, Tuesday through Friday?
Tuesday, I have a late start. So Tuesday is my latest day. I work from 11 to 7. That's one of my longer days. Wednesday, I work 8:30 to 30. So it's a little bit like kind of midday, not quite as early. Thursday is 8 to 5, so that's another full day. It's nice having those 2 full days spaced out a little bit with a shorter day in between. And then Friday is also 8 to 2, so it's another shorter day. So I'm done most days pretty early. It's only the Tuesday and the
Mm.
Thursday nights that I stay a little bit later.
And not too bad. Like you said, it's broken up. It's broken up pretty nicely.
Yeah, yeah, it's not bad. It's not a terrible schedule hour wise. I'm not doing a ton of hours every week. I'm not killing myself, but I used to do that physically. My body really just can't handle it. Especially when I would be working out a lot and putting a lot of strain, I
Mm.
would get lots of neck pains and back pains, even being so young. So I think it's nice having the hours that I have.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think a lot of people listening, they're younger, dental students, pre-dental students, working on ergonomics is so underrated. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'll stand up
Mm-hmm.
all day looking upside down. You're like, even just sitting, you could really get concocted in the wrong,
Yes.
right? Like,
Yes.
have
Oh,
you
yeah.
noticed that?
You don't even realize it a lot of times. And it's not necessarily the leaning that does it. It's even just shifting your weight a little bit between your feet. So you'll always have a little bit more pressure on one foot or the other. And I had a little bit of a problem with one of my hips. So my left hip would get tight because of the way that I'm shifting my weight over my hips to see things. And it's just those things you really don't realize until you're in it for a couple of years and you kind of see what it's like. But dentistry is a very physically demanding profession. I think anyone would agree with that. I think in the beginning in school you don't really feel it as much because your hours aren't as much, but during residency and when you get out and start practicing you really notice that difference. So it's important to focus on your ergonomics for sure.
And yeah, oh, have you? What about your neck too? How has your neck been feeling?
Better now. It was in the beginning, I definitely got a lot of neck pain. And believe it or not, a lot of it stemmed from my shoulders. So having your shoulders back or shoulders forward, you don't realize how much stress you put into your shoulders from having your arms up all day. And it ends up turning into neck pain down the road.
Mhm.
So from stretching my shoulders and making sure that I can move them and rotate them around, it actually solved a lot of my neck pain.
Did like any of these? What about lower back too? That's a big issue with me.
Lower back was my hips. That was the hip problem. I realized once I started stretching my hips out and getting everything better, lower back pain's totally better.
Really, stretching hips, legs, lower
Mm-hmm.
back. Okay, huh? Definitely after starting working, the amount of time that we get to exercise, it's so crazy because you graduate residency, you're at St. Charles. It's like you think you're gonna have so much more time back, and then you're like, where'd the time go?
Where did it all go during dental school? Undergrad was, looking back, so easy. You had all the time in the world. You could do anything. You could go to the gym for hours a day and be totally fine. Dental school, I still feel like we had a decent amount of time. It was tough to balance because you really had to fit everything in with studying, doing your coursework, practicing
Mm,
procedures. But I had time to even do the master's program while I was at dental school. And I
that's
still went to the gym 5 times a week, 4 or 5 times a week for an hour. I managed to fit that in. But now it's so hard. And I have less things that I'm doing. You get home from work, I don't have to study for tests or worry about so much stuff. You just have CE things to do here and there. But I just feel like I don't have the energy to go to the gym because of how
that too.
physically demanding the profession is.
That too. Yeah, the
Yeah.
physical demand of it and the energy that you have at the end of the day is just completely different. And dental school is tough. I don't want people to think that dental school is like a breeze, but compared to afterwards, it's different. It's physically demanding afterwards, and dental school it can be physically demanding. It's mostly mental though, and
Yeah, it's a big mental game, and it's a stamina game when it comes to how much you can focus. It's not that anything is so difficult. It's not that anything takes so much thought. It's just you need to be able to constantly be grinding towards something. And if you lose sight of it, it's very hard to get back on track with it. You just need to kind of keep slowly moving towards the goal and not try to race there.
right, right. Do you still go to the gym late at night too? You were going at like what 9:30 during dental school?
Well, that was back before COVID. That was when the gyms were open until midnight, I
Oh
think,
man,
11 or midnight. The gyms close a lot earlier now, so I still go late at night. I'm still definitely a fan of going at night. Just never been a morning person, always struggled to get up. I've tried to fix that many times, but I just can't do it. So I do go now. I go at like 9 o'clock at night. I'll usually go. I've gotten some stuff to do workouts at home. We rent where we are, so we don't have a ton of space. And down the road, I'd like to build a little bit of a home gym for myself. But for now, I have adjustable dumbbells that go up to 100 pounds. So I have plenty of weights that I can use. I have a collapsible bench that I can use to do some simple things. So I've started to do more workouts at home to kind of counteract the days that I really just don't have the energy to go to the gym.
yeah.
And it's mainly because of how crowded the gyms are at that time. It's either go at 6 in the morning before work most days, or go at 6 o'clock, 5, 6 o'clock when the gyms are packed, or go late at night. So you've got to kind of pick one of those. And I think everyone has their preferences. You just got to pick your poison.
I think it's a great idea to go when the gym's less packed. But it's pick
Yeah.
your poison. You want to go late at night or early in the morning, and sometimes early in the morning. I can't do that. You were saying like getting up early to do is one thing. What I noticed is I sweat. Like, I'm gonna keep sweating for an hour or two. I'll be seeing the first patient. You can't do that. But that's interesting you said that too, because I do feel like the gyms have gotten more packed at the like the times you meant, like 5, 6 p.m.
Yes.
work. Do you feel like, because a lot of gyms have closed over the last like since COVID? No.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The gyms have definitely gotten more crowded those peak times. When I go, it's usually the same crowd that we see. It's been the same crowd. I have recognized people there for the past 4 years at that time. So you just see the same 10 people every single time. And every so often, someone new will pop in and be there for like a couple weeks or maybe a month, and then you'll never see them again. They'll be gone to the wayside. But recently, I haven't been so great. So maybe those people think that of me now. It's very possible.
It's tough. It's tough. I don't think people understand how tough it can be sometimes. And you're married now, right? I gotta
Yeah.
say congratulations on the air. Now that we're
Thank
on.
you. Thank you. We were so happy to have you there, Brendan. I was so excited when you said that you could make it to the wedding. You have no
I
idea.
was too, man. I was too. I was so glad that freed up. That was crazy. I was like, but you know what? There was one the summer before. There might have been two that I had to cancel on weddings, and one of them was like the week before too. It was not good. So I was so
Yeah.
excited to like kind of like set expectations, and then when it popped up, as soon as I found out, I was like, Ryan, do you have any spots? Like, can I still, listen,
Mm-hmm.
we want to
Mm-hmm.
join. I was so
Mm-hmm.
thankful for that. I sometimes surprises do come. It's a good thing,
Yes.
you
Yeah,
know.
it was good to get to see you again there. Congratulations to you too. You guys are engaged now. Very
Thank you.
exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, it's funny because we lived together through 4 years through dental school with the one house. Then we had to move to the
Mm-hmm.
other house, and
Mm-hmm.
we both got girlfriends during. We found our now wife and fiance during dental school, which
Mm-hmm.
is that's actually a good point. We've kind of seen each other through the journey of that, which is
Mm-hmm.
nice. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good to see like we're in the end zone now with that, because with dental school with relationships, it can be tough. And actually, that's another thing. We don't have to go into relationships on on the chat tonight, but yeah, dating through professional school, it's hard to find time.
It's
It's hard to same thing's working out now.
it's very tough, especially with all the other things you're balancing. It was around that time. I think we were in our third year when that happened,
Yeah.
and it was, we had research we were doing, we had all the stuff we were doing. We were starting to get more involved in clinic at that point. I
Mhm.
had my master's program that I was working on also, and Shaquila actually later on told me, we had COVID that happened and shut everything down towards the end of that year for us. So it actually brought the two of us very close together because we now had more time to talk. She had to go back to Florida. She couldn't stay in New York because she wanted to be with her family. The school she was staying at, Stony Brook campus, they kicked her out.
Mm.
So even being so far away, just having that time, it really, it was very important because she said, if we didn't have that, we might not have stayed together. I was just so busy and it's so overwhelming how much work you are actually doing. And by the end of the day, you just don't have the energy for stuff like that. So it's tough.
Yeah, there's no
Dating in
energy.
school is very tough.
The dating it's so tough. That was nice having a little break during COVID. I miss that. I'm ready for the
Yes.
next COVID. I mean, I'm not by no means am I wishing for a COVID, but the
As
time,
long
right?
as the gyms stay open. That's as long as the gyms stay open.
Keep the
Sure.
gyms.
Sure.
Don't send anyone back to Florida. Yeah, that's a good point. God, that was nice to wake up and just like, I'm not rushing out of the house to class anymore.
And we were still living together at the time. It was nice to get to hang out. It's so funny you mentioning us going from one house to the other. That was such a good story. I won't say anything about it, but that was a good story at the time. Good memories
It was
from that.
pouring. It was pouring that day when
It
we were
was
moving.
pouring rain, moving stuff. To this day, I left a humidifier in the basement of that house, and I still regret forgetting that.
Oh, it was a
Never
good
got that
one.
humidifier back. But I'm not gonna.
We could probably knock on that door and be like,
Oh, I doubt that
come in.
humidifier is still there.
There were some interesting artifacts in that basement, in addition to the
Yes,
mice.
yes, that was a very interesting house, but you couldn't beat the rent on it.
Yeah.
But I think our second house was much nicer. I
So,
stayed there. I don't know if you remember. I stayed there after dental school for another 2 years.
oh, two
So
years.
yeah, because Sean and I lived there for another. I think he stayed even a year after me,
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Because of ortho residency, he had to stay there another year.
Yes,
So you said
yeah,
2 years.
yes. So I even stayed after I stayed for residency because I went to St. Charles, which is in Port Jefferson, so very close to Stony Brook. It was probably about 10 minutes from that house, which was really very convenient. And then I stayed another year after that too.
Hmm.
And that I was working at that point. I was working in West Islip at a different office than I'm at right now. But then after that, I moved where I am now. Shaquille and I had moved in together. So
Yeah. I think that was a great, do you agree that was probably a great idea to stay there for residency, right? It was right
yes,
there.
yes, it was right there. It's nice to not change too many things. So moving is always a stressful thing, and residency is also a stressful thing. So trying to limit as many of those things together as you can, it's definitely better. It was nice. We had a group of guys that we stayed with. The four of us stayed together all 4 years of dental school. That was such a convenient thing. We didn't have to find new housemates, find new places to live. We all kind of coordinated together. We had our moments, but we made it through.
Yeah, us and the elves. It's the four of us
Good,
and the elves.
good time. Speaking of that house, do you remember first year of dental school? We had recorded a podcast together, the five of us. We
Did we?
sat down. Yes, I probably have a recording of it somewhere. I'll have to
Gotta
send it to
find
you
that.
later. But we sat down. That was on my old laptop. I hope I transfer that over. And we had a Yeti mic that we had gotten off Amazon together. We all pitched in to get it, and we recorded one episode together. I have never listened to it since. That was like the first month or second month that we were at school. So it'd be very interesting to sit and listen to that again
That
and
would be.
hear our perspectives, how things have changed from when we
Mm.
started dental school, how it was going through the first few classes to now looking back and seeing what we agree with, what we disagreed with from the time. I think that'd be a cool thing to do.
That's such a great idea. We got to do that. We got to find that.
I'll see if I can find it. I'll look for it. I should have it. I haven't gotten rid of anything off this computer. And I'm pretty sure I transferred everything from that computer over to this one. So I should have it.
That would be awesome. We gotta maybe after this today, we gotta look into that, send that over, and then yeah, we should do like the recap, like years later. That's so funny. That's literally 8 years ago. That's 8 years
We have
ago
the
this fall.
8 years ago. 8 years ago.
What were you gonna say?
I don't remember anything about what we said at the time. So we'll have to be careful what is said in it because I don't know. I don't think it was anything
We'll
bad.
edit it. We'll curate it.
We'll edit
Probably
it.
nothing bad. Probably talking about like the pots and the laundry, like fairly stupid stuff. But yeah, we'll
Yeah,
take a look
probably.
at it.
I
We'll
think
edit it. We'll figure it
anatomy.
out.
I think we were talking about anatomy lab and that kind of stuff. Simple things, stupid
When we
things.
find that, we should go through that again. I totally forgot that we had recorded something. That is such a good idea, Ryan. Okay,
Hmm.
cool.
I was
So we'll
thinking
do
about it
it. We'll do
today,
it.
and
Also,
I said I had to bring it up tonight.
yeah,
No, I just
yeah.
said
I'm
I was
so
thinking
glad you
about it
did.
the other day. I can't
I'm
believe
so
you
glad you did.
forgot that. I think you were the one that initiated it.
I think you think so. It probably was. It probably was. I
I
was
mean,
so
it would
glad we
make
all sat
sense.
down and got it. The oh, I feel like there might be a little lag on the video. Are you seeing that, or
Maybe a little bit. Every so often, I'll get something. Yeah,
it might have just rematriculated? I think we're good now.
I'm good.
Okay, cool. So the next thing I wanted to say was I'm so proud and glad that you got into St. Charles, because when we were talking about that program with Dr. Nicastro, that's where he went.
Hmm.
Dr. Nicastro, Dr. Capuano was an attending there, and those were two of my personal mentors. You knew Dr. Nicastro in dental school, and then you got in, and don't you think that had such a profound experience? Like that was a great it is a great
Oh, it was
residency, and then
fantastic. It was a fantastic program. I was very happy there. Every program is going to have its strengths and its weaknesses, but as a general dentistry program, I really think that program has far more strengths than it does weaknesses. The only thing about it that might be a little tough is just there's a lot of attendings, which it depends on the kind of person you are. If you're the kind of person to talk to a lot of people, get a lot of different opinions, see how every dentist does things differently, it's great. But if you're the kind of person, and our director would even say this, that likes to fly under the radar and hide from things, you're always seeing someone a little bit different, so you can kind of get by doing things without them really knowing what's going on. But you have so much experience with that program. Funny enough, the Dr. Manolis at my office also went to St. Charles a long time ago. So yeah,
and
it's
that's how
a
you got
lot of,
connected, right?
yes. So that was how we connected. It was the director of the program, Dr. Logan, had put me in touch with her, and she is an attending there now. She wasn't an attending there when I was in residency, but she put me in touch with her, and that was how I found the office. And it's been such a blessing ever since. It's actually been 2 years that I've been there now. I think it's probably 2 years to like the day or to the week, something like that. I started in December 2 years ago.
And you were telling me last week how you're really excited. This is the perfect fit for you. This office, working with Dr.
Yes.
Manolis. I mean, you're in the Port Jeff area, back on Long Island. You're not too close to the city, but close enough as you need. But it's really come together. Because remember, we were talking about this through dental schools, like finding the perfect opportunity. DSO's taken over. We share the same stresses, and for you to be able to
Mm-hmm.
find that perfect opportunity, it's like I love to see some of my friends, kind of hit it home there.
It's tough. The DSOs really have taken over a lot of dentistry, and why it happens, it kind of makes sense. You see it. It's not something that I think anybody's super happy with. And especially new dentists, you don't have a lot of opportunities, but they almost always have an opening for you to try it out at. And it's hard. It's very hard navigating finding the right office for you because there's so many different ways that people practice, so many different patient populations that you'll find out there. And they really don't teach you a lot of that stuff going through dental school. It's not until you graduate and you see it for yourself, you see firsthand what's going on, that you really start to learn and see what you're looking for, because everyone's going to look for something a little bit different.
Yeah, and just to name a few, some of the things like your hours might be different, your
Mm-hmm.
work days off might be different. The level of autonomy as a
Mm-hmm.
clinician could vary
Mm-hmm.
significantly too, depending on the way you were trained versus the
Mm-hmm.
way DSO, the corporation, wants the corporate structure to work as far as treatment planning or treatment
Mm-hmm.
processes. And it's very interesting. And sure, you could say the same thing about a private practice. That's absolutely
Mm-hmm.
true. But yeah, there's when you work for or with someone, for someone else, they don't have all the power. And so, yeah, people that are considering, later in dental school or residency, it's really important you got to give some focus into like, it's not just where you want to work, it's how you want to work, right? Like how many days a week do you want to work? What are your
Mm-hmm.
hours? Do you want to work
Mm-hmm.
earlier? Do you want to work
Mm-hmm.
later? There's just so much that goes into it. And you're
Mm-hmm.
right, Ron. We don't learn any of this in dental school. They don't teach us any of it.
No, and there's even so much more to it. You know, the flexibility. If you want to work more hours, do you have the opportunity to work more hours? If you want to see more patients, you want to have a little bit more time for certain procedures. If you want to maybe try some new procedures, try some new materials, different labs. Some offices are very restrictive on the labs that you get to work with, and
Oh.
some labs you might not like. You know, as an oral surgeon, you don't really see that much, but I guess something similar would be implant brands. You know, if you maybe like one type of implant brand, an office might not stock it or they might not want to work with it. So all those things, when you're going and interviewing, especially right out of school, you don't know to ask those things. And it's not
Mm.
until you're in the situation and you see what it's like that you know what to ask. It's hard to navigate for sure.
It's very hard. I've heard stories about the labs. You get these crowns back,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it doesn't fit. The margin's wide open, and
Mm-hmm.
I did hear it's like I forget the analogy, but like you get what you pay for. The lab, just because you're working with a cheaper lab, it doesn't mean it's going to be even comparable quality, right? I haven't
Mm-hmm.
seen that experience, but if you can attest to that,
Yeah, no, sometimes it's not even if it's a cheaper lab or more expensive lab. Sometimes you just get things back. The bigger labs, I find you kind of get a lot more variability between things. Sometimes you'll get a crown back and it's a slam dunk, it goes right in, it's so easy. Sometimes you get a crown back and you're like, what happened? You look at it, you check the scan, you check everything, you're like, I don't see why this is so off. I actually over the summer, I think Dr. Manolis had introduced me to a new lab to try, and I started using them, and everything I have gotten back from them has just been unbelievable. So you really do have to experiment with some of the labs because some labs will just work better for what you tend to do or how you tend to prep things or do things. So you have to find your own way, and you can't be stuck to one lab because the more that you work with them over time, they might start to just anticipate you always working with them. And sometimes the quality drops off a little bit from it.
less attention to
Yeah.
detail. Yeah, they just start trying to pump out things. That's a good point. Yeah,
Hmm.
you got to variable a little bit. They got to make sure they're reaching out to you just as much as you're reaching out to them. So
Hmm.
really good point, Ryan. And you mentioned scanning. How much I know we went into this, but how much in the office are you doing impressions now versus scanning? And what are your thoughts on that?
I really don't take that many impressions. I will take impressions for flippers if we have to make someone a flipper. I'll take impressions if we're doing any kind of denture work. We still take traditional impressions for those. But crown and bridge, pretty much exclusively, I'm taking scans for it. Implant stuff, we scan everything for. If we're making any like night guards or retainers or anything like that, scan for
Mm.
those. I actually just made myself some retainers. You can even make Holly retainers with just the scans at this point and send it to different labs. I really don't take that many traditional impressions anymore. But you know, we still have the skills to do it. It's still an important thing. There are times where you'll need to do it. Knowing the technique is an important thing. I had somebody I saw actually I just saw her today, but she had a terrible trauma. She knocked out some teeth, and we needed to take an impression, but the teeth were still very tender. So you need to know what's important in the impression you're taking, what maybe you want to block out so you don't lock anything on or cause any problems. Where you have to talk to the labs where you want to have clasps sitting on teeth to help hold a flipper in place. So knowing those impression taking techniques are still important, and I don't think those are ever going to go away. But
Mm.
we're really not taking many traditional impressions anymore.
And that's great. And how effective the scans are now are some of them better, right? Would you agree?
Yes, definitely. It's from what we used in school to what they're like now, it's night and day. If you had told me that I would be using a scanner this much when I was in school, I would think you're crazy. But now I don't think I would want to work at an office without a scanner. A newer scanner, I should preface. And they've
Mm.
been pretty good for the last 3 years, I think. They've really come around a lot better. Yeah, the scanners, the crowns I get back with the scanner, they just go right in. The contacts are perfect on it. The occlusion's perfect on it. The margins are just perfect. It's like you never have to worry about anything as long as you have a good lab.
Ah, the
the,
lab. And it's
the,
more
the lab
comfortable.
helps.
You gotta have a good lab. What about the materials you're using? Because now that's part of your master's degree. Let's get into that a
Yes,
little bit. What do you like to use? What do you find more effective? What's got the best? You know?
the materials is probably one of my favorite things to talk about. And I talk to my patients about it a lot. You know, having the master's is nice. It helps me understand a little bit more about some of the materials, but I think it's probably one of the more interesting things that we see in dentistry. And it really has changed over the past decade or so. And it's what allows us to do a lot of the things that we do now. The milling machines are great. It allows us to use zirconia a lot more. We don't have to really make many PFM crowns anymore. Um, the zirconia is a nice material. It holds up really well. You worry sometimes that it's just so harsh. Maybe it can damage the teeth around it. So you have to be
Really?
careful. Yeah, you have to be careful when you're prepping teeth and preparing them for it. But the materials nowadays are pretty good. For cementing crowns, I use mostly Reliac. It's a great cement. It works really well. I forget the name of the bond, but I actually switched back to, how they have the different generations of bonding techniques. We used prime and bond in one. I've actually gone back to using a separate prime and a separate bond because I feel like it just works better,
Hmm.
especially if you're doing like a buckle bonding or composite. Doing those separate steps, you really get a good bonding to it. So the materials have definitely changed. You have to keep watching and see how things hold up because the companies are going to come out and say it's the best thing ever. Here you are, now you can do prime and bond all in one step, but it's not always necessarily better. Sometimes it's just more convenient for you.
So the extra step, you really think that kind of adds an extra. And
Yeah.
what was the problem? Do you know, like, is there like a something you could put your finger on what the problem was? Were crowns coming off? Was there like a better seal?
It was mostly buckle bondings that I noticed it with. Interproximal fillings that we were doing, class twos, even class ones, didn't have any problems with. It wasn't crowns. A lot of the cements you have to read up and see what is indicated for them because a lot of cements nowadays you actually don't even have to etch and bond for. In fact, etching and bonding when you're putting a crown in can sometimes interfere with the cement from bonding to the tooth. So you really have to read the instructions for the different materials you're using. When it comes to using the prime and bond, it's going back to something we learned in dental school with changing that C angle on it. So by putting the prime on, you allow that bond to really flow over and get into the pores of the tooth to allow us to get a better bond. And when they join them together, you might not get that same flowing of the bonding agent over the surface.
It's like the 2-for-1 shampoo conditioner things, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
I know. It might
Mm-hmm.
seem like a layman's analogy, but that's kind of what I feel like it is. Putting the two together doesn't mean it's more effective.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that one is better than the other. Every dentist you talk to is going to have different experience with things. For me, I find that it works better having them as separate things. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's plenty of people out there that find that it works fine for them and they don't have any problems having it together. So you have to really try different things and don't be afraid. I think that's probably one of the best things that I've taken away from dentistry. And I realize it more and more as time has gone, even outside of dentistry doing all these things, nothing that we do is so complicated or so difficult, but just the willingness to do certain things, you can accomplish a lot more than you would expect. And you have to be willing to try things that maybe you haven't tried before. Since dental school, I decided to learn how to play the piano. I started soldering things. I've never soldered things before. I even started crocheting. It's a
Really?
good hobby to have. Yeah. I never realized before everything that people do. At some point, you had to learn from somewhere you didn't know what you were doing. So, why can't I be the person to go out and try to do something new and learn it?
Right.
I think dentistry has kind of taught me that a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. And then
This is
techniques that you
valuable.
you could pull certain techniques from playing the piano, and that's two hands, right? Guitar, it's two hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
One's holding the pick and then one's holding it. So I totally
Mm-hmm.
understand that. What you did mention playing the piano more. Where do you do solder? Where do you get to solder?
No, just in at home.
Really? You have like a solder machine?
Yeah, I got a soldering iron. I had a controller that I had gotten Shaquila. I broke. She says I broke, and the joystick on it stopped working. So I took the joystick out of it. I picked up. You can buy parts super cheap online. Just soldered a new joystick into it, and it works great. Actually, works better than before. My mouse that I have, one of the buttons stopped working on it, so I opened the whole thing up and put a new switch into it, and it works great now. Huh? Huh?
Or
Oh yeah. So I have going back to the snowboarding. I have a Subaru now. I don't know if you saw the other day, Brendan, but I got a new car a couple of years ago. I have a Subaru Crosstrek because it's an
I didn't
all-wheel
see that.
drive
No.
car. Great out in the snow if I need to take it out snowboarding. Subaru is a Japanese company. Great car.
Oh,
Probably the most polite horn you will ever hear from a car. So I said I can't have this horn anymore, so put
You
I
put
bought a
you put
horn. I Yeah, I took the whole front fender off of my car, and I bought a bunch of wires, and I made a wiring harness, and I hooked everything up to it, and it works great.
And what kind of horn did you put? Did you put in like one of those train horns?
No, no, no. I put in a normal horn. I didn't put in anything
Or the
crazy, but just a norm, not a polite horn, not an excuse me horn.
horn?
No, anyone who has a Subaru understands the Subaru horn.
The well, you're in Port Chef. The ferry horn. I should get one of those.
Should I get that?
The foghorn. That's so. Oh, so you had to solder to put that in your car?
That one I didn't have to solder, and that is I forget the name of the connectors that it is, but it's nothing I had to solder for that. But I had to cut the wire and attach it to different places, and it crimped things, so you crimp everything together for it.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
I put in a dash cam to my car. I wired that into the fuse box of my car. Yeah, no, just things like that. All these things that people do, anyone can do them. It's just a matter of looking into it and figuring out how to do it. And I think it's such a freeing thing in life, outside of dentistry. It's
Mm.
important to be able to do your own stuff.
That's like Dr. Waldman used to always say, like, well, why haven't you made a shelf in your locker yet? Why have you
Yeah,
made
yes,
it?
exactly. Exactly. Don't be afraid. Try new things. See what works for you. Some things you're going to be great at, some things you might not be great at, but you'll never know until you try it and learn. And I think dentistry, it's like that too. There's some procedures you're going to be great at, there's some things you're going to struggle with. Everyone's going to be like that, but you'll never know until you really try, give it a chance, learn everything you can, and be prepared for it. Yeah.
And learning one thing leads to another.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One more topic I want to get into. I didn't get to ask you enough last week when we were hanging out about what are some of your favorite procedures. What do you really like doing? What are the procedures, the cases, the appointments that you're most looking forward to? No, I'm curious, because
Well, one that I always, whenever you see it in the schedule, it's always a nice thing to see is when you're doing an implant crown, because it's one of the simplest procedures that we can do most of the time. Sometimes it can be a little tricky, but it's just so easy. The patients are always excited because they're getting their tooth back. You don't have to get them numb. It's just you're unscrewing things. It brings me back to when I was young and I used to play with Legos or build things with erector sets. Like you just get to unscrew and screw things together, take all the impressions. It's a very nice appointment to do. Other than that, I really do like doing just routine crown and bridge work. Endo is something that's always been stressful for me. It still is. It's just a hard procedure. I don't do a whole lot of endo anymore. I really kind of stick to the restorative side of dentistry more than anything at this point with fillings, crowns. But I'd probably say doing like a crown on as long as it's not a second molar, I'll take any crown.
yeah. And my boss would love that you said that you like to do implant crown because we do at Old County in Melbourne. We do a lot of implants, and that would be good. I wouldn't want anyone else to do it more than you. And I I mean that because I told you after boards in February, I'm setting up a appointment with you. I'm coming over to see you. That's
Happy to have you.
That's
Happy
a
to
good
have you, Brendan.
One of the perks of dental school is like you kind of get to see, all right, who am I going to go see as a dentist after you graduate? Who's got the best hand skills, right? It's true.
You're only saying that because I'm the only one left on Long Island. Everyone else moved away.
I said this in dental school.
You
That
did say it in dental school.
I said that dental. So I said that 4 or 5 years ago. I'm putting this on air, so this is being recorded. Did it? Yeah,
We'll have to follow
man.
up in 6 months, and I'll tell everyone the truth.
In 6 months, February, March, whenever I get out of this exam, then I'm gonna contact. I might even come in person. I want to say I want to get an appointment with Dr. Davis. I'm gonna be
Stop
excited
by.
for this.
Stop by.
Yeah, man. Yes, and I would love to work with you too, also professionally too, with patients.
Mm-hmm.
If there's any way, I know we're a little bit far in Melville, but we take a lot of insurances. If you ever see patients that have like certain insurances that they might be having trouble,
definitely.
Bring them over to All County. We got several offices. We're the furthest east, but just so I'm willing to work with you too.
We have a lot of patients that do travel pretty far to come see us. The office I'm at has been there for a very long time, and people have since moved away. They used to come there a long time ago, and they still travel back here to come see us. We have people even in Florida that will come back here just to see us as their dentist.
Florida?
Yeah.
Oh man, so they're probably coming up like MacArthur. The what do they call it?
Mm-hmm.
Snowbirds.
Mm-hmm.
Snowbirds.
Mm-hmm.
So they come up for the summers and they get to
Mm-hmm.
see you. Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
we have people from upstate New York travel all the way down to see us. I think some people in Pennsylvania come all the way out to see us. I saw someone the other day. I think they drove 4 hours out to come see us. So we have people coming from all over. So when somebody comes up that's around that area, I'll let them know.
Yeah, man. Hey, we'll throw that in. But Ryan, thanks so much for coming on tonight. I know it in the middle of the week like this because now we're smack in the middle of your days and it's a little bit later. But thanks for coming on. I'm glad we were able
Of
to
course.
connect. We did talk about podcasts and stuff during dental school. If you are interested in an episode, you want to go through anything, we should review the one we did. But anything other, I really, I want to, anytime you want to come on, you want to chat and you want to like bring some information, you want to go over an
Hmm.
article or a new material, like literally anything, I'm all for it,
Hmm.
man. I like doing this. And I think it'd be really good for people to listen to an unbiased opinion. Remember, we were talking about an
Hmm.
unbiased opinion. Because if you look in the research, who's it funded by? If you look in the research, why were they trying to get this as the result? If it was a
Hmm.
different result, would they have published it? And that's something I'd like to see more in dentistry. And I know you feel that way too.
It's hard to find. There's almost always a motivation why people are doing things, but that's why you really need to, especially in dental school, learn your critical thinking, read articles, don't just take everything at face value, see what they're trying to say and how they're getting about it, and question things. It's always an important thing. I think one of my favorite things as a general dentist is getting to educate our patients. And I always love when people ask us questions. I get to explain what we're doing. I should always have an answer for people. And if I don't, I'll be honest and tell people I don't know sometimes. There are some situations that we just haven't seen before or don't know. But I love when people ask questions because I think it's an important thing that we should all be doing more. Everyone
Yeah,
should understand why we're doing things. I think it builds a lot of trust with people too, which is especially in dentistry. Think about how many people don't trust their doctors or don't trust their dentists. It's an important thing to have.
it is. It's been getting pretty scary these days too, with the lack of trust in dentists and doctors, for that matter. Unfortunately, but that's a really good sign that you have people coming hours and hours upstate, four
Mhm.
hours away from out east, coming to see you guys. That's a really good thing. And I mean, you know this. But for on air, that's a really good sign, especially in a day like today, and in New York, where the doctor's trust has been a little bit on a downtrend. But yeah, hopefully the questions, answering questions, and being honest,
Mhm.
it can get us back on that uptrend sometime in the future.
There's still a lot of good offices. There's a lot of good dentists and there's a lot of good doctors out there. No question about it. I'm very happy where I am. I'm very fortunate to have found the office that I'm at, and I plan on staying there for a long time. It's just a great location. We have great people that we get to work with.
And then we got to get a beer at Port Chef before it closes.
Yes.
Article.
Yeah, I did see the article. We'll have to go there.
I was so devastated because I love that spot. We used to go.
I
I mean,
know.
what, a couple times in dental school, but that was, I love their emblem with the ship, the boat on
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
We got to
We'll
go.
go out there sometime. We'll go out there, Brendan. We'll pick a day. Shaquille and I will meet you out there. We can even go get dinner out there and then head over to the brewery for a couple drinks after.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll get a loose out here. A couple
Hmm.
weeks actually. She might be out here. So yeah, I'm gonna touch base with you. I'm gonna send you a text. I'll let you know the dates as soon as I find out from her.
Sounds good. Sounds
All right,
good.
man. Hey, thanks for coming on. If you could just wait, it's like 10 seconds for it to
Yeah,
finish,
of
like maybe
course.
five. I
Of
hit end and
course.
then it'll upload for like 5 seconds.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Have a
Thank you
good
so
night.
much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. Give my best to Shaquila and let her know, like, happy holidays, happy Merry Christmas, and
I'll let her
we'll see
know.
you
Tell her
soon.
Luce the same from me.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, Ryan. We'll talk soon.
Have a good night.